Hello and welcome back to Catch and Cook California. I'm Kevin. Today I'm joined by the lovely Diane, and we are going to go fishing for surf perch. The idea today is we're going to test the Berkeley Gulp artificial sandworm versus live pile worms. We're doing high-low rigs. Everything's going to be exactly the same between me and Diane, and now we have to see who's going to catch more fish and whether live bait or artificials are going to catch more. So before we start, Diane, how many times have you fished for perch?
None.
But she usually outfishes me when we go on boats and stuff, so I'm not really holding out to win this competition, but I'm gonna try my best. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to kick your butt.
Whoa, it's on.
So as you'll see here with our first casts, we're really not throwing it out there that far. It's probably about 15-20 feet from shore and probably landing in about 6 to 10 feet of water. We're just going to reel in the slack just a little bit so we have tension on the line, and that way we can detect when there are bites. And these bites don't take long. I just got one and now I'm reeling one in. This one doesn't seem to be too big, but still, fish on that quick, I'll take it. And as you can see here, I'm showing it over to Diane, and then I'll give you guys a closer look at this beautiful little fish as well.
All right, that one bit on the real worm. It's a little baby, so I'm gonna throw it back. Black perch.
Now, a lot of people throw the term sustainability around, but it's something that I really do believe that we should practice rather than just preach. So we are out here to catch some fish to eat because this is Catch and Cook California. But at the same time, if we're catching small fish or if we catch a fish that we can clearly see is pregnant, we usually toss those back. In this case, I rebaited. Oh, and that's another thing. That one hit on the live bait. The live bait usually needs to be replaced after it gets hit. And here's Diane with quite a substantial fish on the line here. And this is her point of view, reeling it on in. This one hit good and fought good too. I really like the way that perch fight when they are sizable. They kind of turn sideways like a dinner plate in the water. But check this fish out. What a beauty.
Wow, that's a huge black perch. That is huge. All right, on the artificial too. One for the artificial.
It's really pretty.
Boom. Yeah,
wow.
Beautiful blues in there.
Whoa. Okay, put it out of its misery.
One of my favorite things about fishing for perch is just how abundant they are. We're talking about a whole suite of species of surf perch, black perch and pile perch and barred perch and red tail perch. There's tons of them, and none of them have a commercial harvest, which means nobody's putting pressure on these populations except for us. So there are tons and tons of perch to be had, and they're often very, very close to shore, which means you don't have to cast too far, which also means that they're excellent for beginner anglers. So this is the live segment of a pile worm here, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run this little bait holder hook here. I'm gonna run that pile worm all the way on so that it looks like that. And then down below, I've got the artificial Berkeley Gulp worm. This is the high-low, and down below, I've got it tied to a 3-ounce pyramid sinker. I like to tie that at the base of the sinker so it digs into the sand. Kind of the exact opposite of what I'd want if I was fishing over rocks. Here we're trying to snag over rocks, we're not. Then all of this is mono, and that's going straight to my barrel swivel and straight to braided line.
Well, I realize this is not the best angle. I had to actually prop my camera up against a rock because I forgot my tripod. But watch how fast this fish bites. I left this clip completely uncut. And so I cast out, like I said, reel in the tension, wait for the bite, and sure enough, bam. That was 17 seconds from the moment that I cast out to the moment that I had a fish on.
It's a red tail surf perch on the natural actual live worm. Yeah, that is an absolutely beautiful fish. People say that the red tail is one of the best eating of all the surf perch. They gotta be 10.5 inches, so let's give it a measure. I think he's just under. So he's going back.
Okay.
Cute though.
So that's another thing to remember. You just want to make sure you know bag limits, size limits, seasons, etc. For perch, you're allowed 20 per day, 10 per species. That's way more than anybody needs. I never take a limit on these, not because I can't, just because I don't need to have that kind of impact. But in any case, here's Diane's cam. You can see she started to hook into something and it was fighting a little bit different. We weren't really sure what this was. At first she was like, am I snagged or am I on? I'm not sure. And then it started moving and all of a sudden she hollers out, and it's a shark. So yeah, I reeled my line in, set it down on the rocks, not in the sand. Don't want to put my reel in the sand, and went back to deal with it. This one had been hooked in the mouth, but then had rolled, and the high-low rig had hooked it, foul hooked it on the outside as well. So I unhooked it and then showed Diane. I wanted to make sure she touched the shark because it has dermal denticles. Dermal being skin, denticle being teeth. It's skin teeth. Basically, it has sandpaper for skin. So I wanted her to feel that before I tossed it back. Well, we kept fishing and no more bites. So we decided that was a draw. We only had an hour out there. But live bait seems to have won just barely. We were catching on lives and artificials. So yeah, both seemed to work quite well. And in the end, we decided to keep this beautiful black perch that Diane caught. And I decided to do what I always do with perch, which is to scale it. So to do this, I start at the tail and I just run my blade against the grain and just pop loose all of those scales. They do make specific tools for this if you don't want to use your knife, but I always have my knife in my pocket, so I figure I may as well use it. Score the sides of it, and that'll allow your marinade to penetrate down deep into that fish. And so I added this black perch to a few that I had speared the other day, and then decided to smoke them. This is something I've been experimenting a lot with. We did some whole and some fillets.
Diane couldn't make it today, so I'm doing solo taste test. Smoked perch. And just look at that fish. Look at this. Look at that. Perfectly smoked. That's what I'm talking about. Don't even think about it, ground squirrel. He's eyeing my stuff. Don't even think about it.
I see you looking at me, buddy. There are no scraps here for you.
Scallion cream cheese? Yes, please. Look at that. Wow. Looks great. Smells amazing. That's got to be one of the best perch recipes I've ever made. Wow. I left it marinating in here for like 2 hours. I wanted a lot of that really robust flavor to permeate through an otherwise very plain white fish. And while it's lean, because it's not fatty like salmon, all those flavors permeated into that meat, and dude, that is amazing. It's one of the main complaints people wage against perch is that it's mushy or too delicate. When you smoke it, it is firm, very, very firm, and wonderful. That is so incredibly good. I am for sure polishing off all of this. I got some more over there in a bag too. Wow, definitely try this. In the meantime, keep the old ways alive.